Lads, the relegation final this year is a big local derby between Rathnure and Cloughbawn. Two teams that have great history of both winning championships and being, I suppose, stalwarts in senior grade over the years. What way do you see it going, Garry?
Oh God, this takes local derbies to a limit in this sort of a game. You know, I was at a relegation match, I think was it Rathnure and the Shamrocks a couple of years ago in Islegate, and Rathnure only got away by the skin of their teeth, but they did manage to do it. I think Rathnure are the longest ever senior hurling team in Wexford as well, aren't they?
Yeah, they won junior in 1940 and they haven't been
senior ever since.
Other than senior ever since.
And really, you know, I won't tell a lie, I was reared in the Cornwall Inn in Killorn, and Rathnure used to always pass in there and pull in during their county final days, and the same with Cloughbawn. So I would have known an awful lot of their older hurlers, you know, back in the day when they were winning those championships. And you know, there's a great tradition in Rathnure, and it's a real hurling tradition. They really just love their hurling. They're sort of like Kilkenny from an Irish point of view. But Cloughbawn and themselves have no love lost, and you know, I just think at this moment in time, and I heard when the two lads were sent off at the weekend for Cloughbawn, Conal Flood and Shane Keogh, I think it was it? I was a bit worried for them at that stage, but sure, look, it's a new championship, so it doesn't really matter. So the two of them are back in. At this moment in time, I just think Cloughbawn are probably in a little bit of a better place, purely because Rathnure are decimated with injuries and lads away, and you know, they've picked up another couple of injuries, not the weekend gone by, but the one before that. So look, I'd hate to see them going down, to be honest with you. I think they're a really traditional, brilliant hurling team, and brilliant for Wexford hurling over the years. But like, if I have to just pick it with my head, I would think Cloughbawn are probably just in a little bit better place at this moment in time.
Larry, there must be a little bit of relief from the Harriers' point of view. I suppose the last minute free to win by a point against St Anne's. Other than that, you'd be in it yourselves. But how do you see this relegation going?
Yeah, that victory over St Anne's, to me, though, have turned everything in favour of the Harriers anyway. And the attitude of players, you know, it's amazing what a victory can do for you. You know, being at the Harriers Cloughbawn match last night, I thought after 15 or 20 minutes that we were going to see out the game. You know, we seemed to be in control of the game, and Cloughbawn seemed to be lost in their own little game for some reason. They were making a lot of mistakes and hitting ridiculous wides and stuff like that. So I said to myself, you know, their heads are down at the moment. You know, going into a relegation final is going to be harder. You know, playing your neighbours, as Garry said, one of the most traditional hurling clubs in the county. So many famous names come out of Rathnure. You know, it's a living history up there with the GA that they have, you know, and it would absolutely break a lot of old people's hearts in Rathnure if they went down to the intermediate grade, you know. From a Cloughbawn point of view, okay, they're a big club as well, but Rathnure would feel a little bit, you know, a little bit hard hit and hard hurted, if they call it that way, to say that if we go down, that, you know, there's a possibility that we'll never get back up. Yes, they have a lot of injuries. They have a lot of young lads coming through as well, which is a good thing for Rathnure. And if they do go down, I'm sure that they'll bounce back fairly quick to get back up. But from a situation where it's a do or die, the neighbours up there are probably all looking out at one another. From Cloughbawn, they're throwing stones at one another across the road into Rathnure, and they're sort of getting the whole thing going already. But I still think Rathnure, with the tradition that they have and that inner belief that, you know, we cannot go down, you know, to be people turning in their graves if we do go down. But that's the reason why I fancy Rathnure just to barely see it out, because of the situation where I saw Cloughbawn hurling last night against the Harriers. I just felt as if they weren't really hurling well, and the reports came in from the Rathnure game to say the young lads really showed up well against the Shilmalayers. So maybe they know their backs are against the wall, and it just needed a good game, a good performance going into this relegation final. So that's the reason why I think Rathnure might just barely tip it.
I think, to be fair, sorry Peter, cutting across you there, to be fair, Cloughbawn had their 4 points before yesterday as well, and it's an awful way to be going in, sort of thinking, well, if we don't get bet by a certain amount, we might still qualify. And they have won 2 games on it, and like, it does play on the back of your mind a bit. Like, Rathnure have not won a game this year, and I suppose that's the real fact that stands out for me. And no matter who you are or where you come from or what sort of a tradition you have, if you've gone 5 games without winning a game, there has to be doubts in your mind. You know, now maybe they can pull out a big performance, and again, I'd hate to see them going down, but you know, Cloughbawn are a great traditionalist team as well, so it's the same thing. I suppose the only difference there is Cloughbawn has been up and down a few times in the last, you know, number of years, and have managed to come back up again from the intermediate. But I just think Cloughbawn, we'll sneak it, that's all.
So the lads are split on it. I think the fact that Rathnure have known they're in the relegation final for longer than Cloughbawn could actually help Rathnure. they put in a good performance last weekend. Cloughbawn were quite poor, but have been better in other games than Rathnure have been. So I think it's going to be very close. I do think whichever of them go down will be able to come back up again in the next year or two, but I think Rathnure might just about manage to stay up.